Peace and love. Hope all is well. Hope you're feeling good and feeling high vibe. Now, welcome to We the Collective, a space where we just take the opportunity to have a deeper look at truth. Now, in this video, we will be connecting with the energy of Lisa Left Eye Lopez from the band TLC. Now, with Lisa, she is an energy and somebody that I've always kind of felt connected to from a young age. Whenever I would look at her photos, and I've mentioned this on the channel before, that whenever I would look at her photos, I would just feel as if I knew her, or that there was just something about her eyes that really intrigued me, and it was like I saw myself in her. I saw just like a deeper depth, like there was more that was light within her, if that makes sense. Like there was just always this sense like I just felt like she was always connected to more, and I don't know why, but when I looked at her, I just felt like that I would discover more through her, if that makes sense. Now, I wrote down a lot of what she was saying to me, because usually I just kind of come on camera and explain kind of how our connection developed, and then kind of see what comes through and pull some cards and close my eyes and pull a message. But she was giving me a lot of intuitive messages and downloads, so we're gonna go through them and just basically express the messages that she was giving. Now, I apologize for looking down a lot and not looking at the camera. Now, she was showing up to me in a white tank top, and the tank top was like obviously a tank top's like half cut, and it had no sleeves, and it had like kind of a bit of a collar. And then she was also showing me that she had really short shorts on, and she was basically making the point to exaggerate the short of the shorts, of how short there was. And then she was saying it's very 80s, very 90s. And I asked my mum, like, was short shorts and tank tops a really big thing in like 80s, 90s? And she was saying yes, maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. I'm not 100% sure. But then the interesting thing on when she was showing me herself, not all the time. It's not all the time that energy or spirit or whatever, however you want to call it, they show me themselves. They don't always show me themselves in a physical form or what they're necessarily wearing. Sometimes they literally just are in my mind space a lot, and that's how I know that they're there and, you know, get other impressions. But she was showing up to me with a white mark underneath her eye. Now, left eye normally wore a black mark underneath her eye, and I was asking her, like, why is your mark not black? Why is it white? And she was saying that she's in a school of light, and that's why she's wearing the white mark. And she was saying that she's in light school and that she's finishing her training with Dr. Zebi and other masters. Now, Dr. Zebi was I want to say herbalist, a natural herbalist, a natural healer, and he brought a lot of knowledge to basically the world about natural medicine, about food, the alkaline diet, that mucus is basically the cause of all illness and disease, and just basically that health can be cured by nature, really. And Dr. Zebi actually spoke quite highly of Lisa, because before she died, it's well documented that she went to Honduras to visit him. But she's saying that she's in light school with Dr. Zebi, and she's finishing her training. And not just that it's Dr. Zebi there, but there's other spiritual healers and other spiritual masters. And when she said and other masters, I noticed that, because it's not that she said I'm with Dr. Zebi and like so and so, but the fact that she said other masters, it was like he's a master also. So it's like she intuitively picked up on that, and I got the download that she says Dr. Zebi has risen up, elevated, almost like the work that he did catapulted him, the work that he did on earth, the amount of light that he anchored on earth, or the amount of wisdom that he brought to earth catapulted him in terms of like ascension levels. Okay, so sorry, and then she went back to the mark underneath her eye, And what she was saying is that the mark is an indication of what work she's undergoing, whether that's light or dark. And we will go back to the eye in a moment because she brings it up again, but I'm just going to go in the order that the messages were coming through. So she was, then I was listening to one of her songs and I just typed in her Lisa Left Eye Lopez because really I wanted to listen to one of her songs, not one where she was connected to the band. And it says, so I was listening to her song, What's Wrong With You, and What's Wrong With You and I. And then what was coming up was that she was basically saying that, to me, this is after listening to the song, what I was getting intuitively, that the men in her life were full of lies and they created a woman scorn, a female scorn, like it's basically somebody that's very like revengeful. And she basically said to me, don't open a woman's heart because just like like if you're basically not prepared to basically love her and to be there for her and to support her and to be truthful and honest with her, because just like just like masculinity and femininity and the human experience and everything that's within the human experience, the heart also has duality. The heart is also of light and dark, love and hate, and it's about whichever energy is kind of created, whichever energy is manifested within that heart, and whichever energy is embodied by that individual living with that heart determines the actions. And she was bringing me to the fire that happened with, well, that she did basically. She said, I think she set her boyfriend's or her partner's house on fire or something along those lines. And what she was saying, and that's something that's well documented, it's not, she's saying that the fire was deliberate and that there are no accidents. She says the universe is too intelligent for accidents. So she's basically saying that even if in her conscious mind, like she didn't intend to kind of burn down the house, it wouldn't have been an accident because everything is divinely orchestrated. Everything happens for a reason and a purpose, if that makes sense. And she's also saying that, that she was very reactive and very impulsive. And then she brought me to a lot of her reactiveness and a lot of her impulsiveness was because she was very empathic, and because she felt things so intensely, it caused her to act like kind of erratically and immediately. Basically, yes, that when as soon as she felt rage, it's almost like she had to express that, she had to get it out of her because she felt things so heavily. They almost became like a part of her. And then she apologizes to her boyfriend's family members or her partner's family members because she was disrespectful, she says. Now, I don't know if that's true, but that's the message that came through, that she apologizes to her boyfriend's family because she was disrespectful. I don't know if that's like the last boyfriend she had before she died or whatever, or the last person she was seeing. Okay, but when I was connecting with the energy, I kept getting the song by City High, What Would You Do? What would you do if your son was at home, crying all alone on his bedroom floor because he's hungry? And basically, what I was getting was that I was getting this energy. Obviously, the song was discussing like selling yourself or whatever, and I was getting the energy from her, like selling herself, and it almost came across like she had no choice but to do what she was doing, or to kind of maybe like continue on with TLC, but or kind of she had no choice to sell herself, or maybe she was kind of selling herself really. I don't know. Something to do with like selling herself basically is what I was getting from her and that song. Okay, and then she led me to sexual abuse or misconduct, and then she said that she had to do what she had to do. Right now, I just feel like whatever happened, or a lot of darkness that happened or she underwent in her life, she was very much so aware of it. It's almost like, yes, it would have been probably sad that she experienced some things, but it's almost like she had no choice. She had to do what she had to do. She had kids at home. She had mouths to feed. Okay, so I think now we're probably going to get back to the mark underneath her eye. She was basically bringing me to the fact that Earth is a school of light and dark. There are many different schools of light and dark within Earth, and the Earth experience and the human experience. And she says that it's for us to choose which school we will and are taking part of. When she was on Earth, she says that first of all, she says that both schools are powerful: the school of dark, the school of shadow, and the school of light. She said both are powerful. Both have the ability to create change and to help usher in a new way of living for Earth. And she says basically that she was taking part in the school of shadow when she was on Earth for the most part, which is why she had the black mark underneath her eye. And she says that she's not taking part in the she says she's now taking part in the school of light where she is now. And also, what was coming forward was that she was always spiritual. She always had respect for Source. She always had respect for the Godhead. But she was letting me know that people wouldn't have thought so because of how she expressed it, because of how she expressed herself, because of basically how she expressed her emotions, and she was bringing me to anger. And then she says, before, because I rewrote the messages, because I wrote them down, there was every message, so I rewrote them clearer. And one message that I didn't write, because I didn't understand what it was meaning, was this one. And then as I was coming down to here, it resonated. And what she was saying was that many couldn't get past the crazy in her eyes. And she was letting me know that I could, by me being able to, because I was saying I always felt connected to her by looking at her eyes, and there was something in the eyes that I saw, like a goodness, a pureness, a lovingness, a spiritualness. She said many couldn't get past that. It was the expression in her eyes, but also how she expressed herself. And she would say basically the reason why she brings that up is because we need to change our expectations of how a spiritual being should look or behave. We are all spirit, she says. We are all of spirit, is what she says. She says a criminal is in shadow school, a nun is in light school, each emitting frequencies that go towards change in their own ways. And again, kind of basically have a message of respect, have respect for everyone and everything and their journey and what they've been through. Not one of us are better than the other. Not one of us are kind of more holy than the other. But none of us are more kind of, I want to say, more spiritual than the other, because we're all of spirit, as she said. So I think what we're going to do is I'm just going to relight this sage, and then we'll pull a few oracle cards, continue to connect with her energy, just pull one or two, and then I'll close my eyes and see what message we have channeled forward from Lisa Left Eye Lopez. For some reason it feels like she's saying to me, don't kind of stop saying Lisa Left Eye Lopez, just call her Lisa. It's almost like Lisa Left Eye Lopez is too formal. She's saying she's laid back, she's chill. She was saying she was a rapper, come on. She's saying we don't say whole names. She's basically saying she's too, basically how on the roads or on the streets you don't say somebody's full governmental name, you give them a nickname or whatever. She's saying you don't have to be so formal. Okay, so let's pull one card from the Crystal Therapy deck, and we'll pull one card from the Angels and Ancestors Oracle deck by Kyle Gray. Now we're just going to read this intention. Guardians of the Four Corners, Mother in the Sky, Guardians of the Four Corners, Mother in the Earth, Father in the Sky, Angels, Ancestors, Sacred Ones, I call on you and welcome you here now. I set the intention that whatever is gained from the lessons learned from this tool will be dedicated to the growth of all beings in all places. Ashe. Oh, and sorry, just for confirmation, this card came out, because I was going to do this video yesterday and I pulled the card just for clarity or confirmation, and this card, the Fire Guardian, And it came out when I was basically like thinking about her and the fire. I thought, okay, that's confirmation, so I'll leave it out so that I'm reminded to say it. But now I'm going to put it back in the deck, and we're just going to set the intention to bring forward messages of love, of truth, of light from Lisa Left Eye Lopez. For some reason, I'm getting like this energy like she would have loved to sing. She would have loved to be able to sing. I feel like she was a little bit jealous of the singer of the band, or not jealous, but just like, you know, when you admire somebody, you wish you could do it too, or I don't know. I just feel like she admired singers or admired the talent of singing. Because she was like saying like, I would have died to be able to do that too. It's something about being able to be both energies on a track, or it's like being light and dark. And it's not just that, it's like being a rapper, being a singer, they are kind of like two different energies, if that makes sense. People often see rappers bad and singing as good, or rappers dark and singing as light. Let's see what Lisa Left Eye Lopez is saying. I'm smiling because I tried to stop myself from saying the whole kind of name. Okay, so confirmation. Trish, we have this, as we were just mentioning about, she would have kind of loved to be able to sing, or she admired the singer in the group. We have the Spirit Fox. Trust your talents in changing times. You know, just the fact that the word talent came up, that was just to confirm that message. Shift your perception. Okay. I feel like she's telling me to look deeper. Maybe look deeper in my heart. How this circle or this emblem is kind of on this fox's chest. I don't know if you can see it clearly. It's the eyes. She's saying, what lies within the eyes? What can you see within the eyes? What do the eyes tell you? The eyes are the window to the soul. My eyes were the window to my soul. She's saying it was clear as day, whatever was going on within my life, within my eyes. My pain was clear to see, but instead of seeing my pain within my eyes, people saw my anger in my actions, is what she's saying. That's why she's saying shift your perception on how you see people, how you see people expressing. Our actions come from emotion. Our actions are the result of emotions, are results of impulses from within. It's like she had to get everything out of her. I just feel like she felt everything so intensely and she had to get it out, or her head would have exploded, literally exploded. Let's have one more card from this deck, and we'll pull 1 or 2 cards from the Crystal Therapy deck. For some reason, not this one, sorry, but with this card, I was getting sun gazing, and something to do with the sun cleansing emotions from your eyes. I don't know how that happens, but something to do with staring at the sun. But it says the eyes are the window to the soul. You stare at the sun. I don't know, something about the light going through. It like goes inside of you and cleanses and removes things, blockages. I'm getting something to do with your eyes and cleansing from the eyes and because of the sun and sun gazing. Okay, and we have like this guy here with the third eye shut, his third eye clearly open, but it's green, so it's like almost working and seeing from his heart center, seeing from his heart space, connected to his heart space. And a moment ago, I was just sat here with my hand on my heart because she told me that I need to go deeper. We need to go deeper, we need to look deeper. Stay rooted and grounded, this card is saying. Okay. She's saying that I'm feeling like she wasn't anchored in her signature vibration. Okay, and she's basically saying that that's what her path was about. It was about her anchoring in her signature vibration and staying as true to herself as possible, which is why she was so outspoken at times. And when it was coming towards the end of her life and she went to Honduras, that was her finally getting to her signature vibration. Finally connecting to her heart and gaining clear, well, not necessarily clear sight, but better sight, opening up that third eye. And I did, like, early in my spiritual journey, I remember seeing an interview from Dr. Zebi, and he said that, if I'm 100%, not 100%, but if I'm correct, he said that Left Eye went to him and wanted to, she said to him, how can I see? How can I see, or how can I see clearly, or how can I see through? Something to do with like sight, but I think it was more to do with like her spiritually seeing, and like clairvoyance. And he told her to fast for 40 days and 40 nights, or 44 days and 40 nights, or something like that. And I think she did it for 44 days or something along those lines. But again, that was her really getting back into, I want to say, her God self, her God body, especially with like the 40 days, 40 nights. It's like energy of Christ energy. Okay. Stay rooted and grounded, and that's what, again, so that's what she's doing, getting grounded, getting back in touch with nature and her spiritual self. It's like she never lost her spiritual self or got rid of her spiritual self, but she just, throughout her life, she was becoming, I want to say there was just times when she was distracted from it, and she knew that she needed to get in touch with that. She knew that she needed to stay connected to that. So that was vital. Fluorite, insight. Pull one more card. Open mind. So we have insight and open mind. Okay, so again, open mind, shift your perception. I'm being brought to like her being on earth and her constantly having revelations. Constant revelations. And I feel like it's almost like constant downloads as well. And it was almost like, I don't want to say this, but I'm going to have to. It's almost like her death came at the right time, because she was, I want to say like she was, although she was in Honduras and she was healing and, you know, going more within and getting more in tune with the spiritual self, it's like her mind was on overload. She was too aware of everything. Like, she was aware of everything that was happening around her, and it was sending her into overdrive. It's almost like her death came at a time to kind of save her from herself. Okay, open mind, insight. I feel like she wants to say something about her death, but she's saying, like, stop seeing it as something that happened to her. Stop seeing it as that she was maybe killed or taken out. See it more as that this happened. Basically, whatever happened was her ending, and it was meant to be her ending. And we all have an ending. How the ending comes about is different for all of us. Sometimes our ending comes through people. Sometimes our ending comes through the weather. Sometimes our ending comes through ourselves. But it comes when we need it, when it's for us, when it's kind of necessary. Her death was necessary, basically, is what she's saying. It's not something that we should see as happening to her, or that she's a victim to it. None of us can be victims to our death, is what she's saying. Because it's meant to happen. Like, no, she's basically saying that no matter how tragic, if you die, you cannot be a victim to death, to your death. If you transition to the next, you cannot be a victim to that, because it's divinely orchestrated. It's something that must happen, basically. Okay, so let's pull one final card. And okay, for some reason I feel like I need to pull from the Keepers of Light deck by Kyle Gray. So that's what we're going to do. And we're going to close our eyes and allow her to step forward and see what message she has to bring forward for us. That card was saying wear a cloak of protection, and it's more so reminding me to protect myself before I go into channeling back directly from her. Cosmic Gateway, Horus, your thoughts are magnetic and powerful, miraculous changes are occurring. And I'm pretty sure, if I remember rightly, I feel that this card came out for the Michael Jackson read. Again, I'm already getting something to do with perception and looking from the heart space, which we already said, seeing from the heart center. We already mentioned that with this card. And the third eye, and the fact that he's holding his heart. Okay. The men in your world are becoming more sensitive, more trusting, more loving. But with that comes a heightened facade. As they become more vulnerable, they express more masculinity, they express more dominance to cover up the softer, the fluffy feelings that they hold on the inside. All I really wanted was to be able to see the heart of a man, to really be able to feel that I hold his heart in my hand, so that I can caress it and kiss it and hold it gently as if it was a hamster. I just wanted true love, honesty, respect, companionship, The men today are in more of a space to be able to provide that. However, they battle with themselves to be able to express that. The masculine energy for many, many years has been battered and bruised, just as the feminine energy has, just as females have, just as men have. However, the expression of emotions are easily, I apologize, for women to express emotions is more fluid. For men, it's more rigid. It's more about who we know ourselves to be and who society knows us to be. That men are strong and hardened fighters and not emotional, whereas women are emotional and may cry at a wedding or may cry because of love, want to be held and caressed, but we all want to be held and caressed, we all want to be loved and protected, we all want to be understood. They are not matters of masculinity or femininity or being a male or being a female. They are a component of living and expressing, and a part of living is receiving, and in receiving is the possibility and the capacity to receive love and compassion and respect. And in this life we are all aware of the spectrum of light, whether we call it a spectrum of light, and the majority of us lean towards the light. On this spectrum of light there is density and there is light, and the majority of us lean towards the light because they make us feel good. So it's not a matter of being masculine or being feminine or being straight or being gay to express love authentically and truly. The men in the world today are capable to love wholly and sincerely, but they won't allow themselves to. A lot of women won't allow them to. There needs to be a detaching from roles, stereotypes of how things should be, of how love should look. My action of burning down the house was an act of rage and anger, but at the heart of it, it was an act of love. If I didn't love this person, if I didn't care for this person at such a deep level, I wouldn't have went to the lengths I did. You see, the fire was my expression of love, but we all don't express the same. We need to lose expectation. When we lose expectation, we increase understanding, we increase overstanding because we have less boundaries. Passion is freedom. Your passion shouldn't come at the expense of anything or anyone. Your life shouldn't have to be signed to anything. Your will is your way. You have choice. Your body, your mind, your spirit knows the sense knows the direction it should be going in. It is for you to follow, to walk into whichever school of light or of shadow, to walk in whichever school you feel will serve you best and serve the collective best. Continue on the journey of understanding. And when you have the foundations of understanding, you can go beyond to overstand. I wish you well. Hugs and kisses. Love is in the air. For everyone. For everything. For you, me, and we. You are, we are, a collective. Thank you. I'll be patiently waiting for next time. Peace and love. Ashe. So, I thank you for being present with me. I thank Left Eye for those messages. I thank my guides, my guardian angels, my spirit team. I thank myself for continuing on with this journey. I send love to everybody watching, and I thank you all for being a part of my journey. Peace and love. Ashe.